Good morning, everyone. How are we? Shannon, Shrest, how you guys doing?
Doing great. Good. Can you hear me?
Yep, we can hear you, Shrest. Shannon, how's things?
Good here.
Love to hear it. We actually have a little crowd today, which is nice. Let's go ahead and let's kick off the December facility roundup. So we do this once a month, and this is basically just our time to be able to check in, give an overview of the facilities. We post a weekly facility update. So if you are a Compass client, or you're thinking about being a Compass client, or you're wondering what Compass Mining is doing, you want to check in with our facilities, go ahead and you can check those out. And actually, I'll leave a link up in the nest. I also put up in the nest the stats that we're going to be reviewing, that Shannon and Suresh will be reviewing. So as they start to go through that, you can look at that image, and that gives uptime, utilization, and some other stats, I think, as well as megawatts, which is really cool. So Shannon, Suresh, if you guys want to get kicked off, let's get kicked off. I know many of us are still in the holiday Christmas swing of things, so let's get going. Who wants to start?
I mean, I'll definitely let Suresh kick it off.
Well, I don't know. Suresh, you're up.
I don't mind. I'll go first. So I was thinking maybe I'll take Ontario. So things at Ontario have been steady. Winter weather's super cold out there. We're not seeing any overheating issues. Overall, our performance has been decent. Our uptime has been 98.4%, which is very high. We haven't seen a lot of curtailments in comparison to like some of the other, for example, like the hotter seasons. Machine utilization is 94.5. We do think we could do better. However, I think this is more of a reflection of how many units we're moving around at the site. A lot of older gen machines are being moved around to make room for S21s. That is a similar story in a lot of different facilities. But yeah, that's about it from Ontario. Maybe I'll throw it over to Shannon.
I guess I could stick to Canada while we're up there. So the Manitoba locations, trying to see, we started some, did we start those D-racks there yet?
Not yet. 5th.
Okay, so I mean, right now the Manitoba locations 2 through 9, so high uptime 99%, machine utilization 94%. So basically, you know, there's some unused slots that's in Manitoba. There will be some de-racking that's happening. There's a handful of Compass units up there that we use for temp units that will be starting with the first de-racking. So you'll see lower utilization as that starts to occur up in Manitoba. So generally when that happens, you know, it can be anywhere, like in the US, we've gotten the times on some of these relocations down to, you know, 2 to 4 weeks in some situations. When it's coming out of Canada and coming to the US, this does take a longer amount of time to import. So if your guys' miners end up affected by some of these relocations that are going on early next year, you know, it could take 6 to 9 weeks as we go through some of those relocations as well. All right, that covers Canada. Did you have anything to add to Manitoba, Suresh?
Yeah, nothing from me. I think you got it all.
I guess we could. Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, I'm just going to jump into the next one. I was thinking maybe we can go over to Iowa 2 and 3. That's at the top of the list for people. So even though like there's 2 different facilities, Iowa 2 and 3 listed there, we like to look at them as one facility because they're managed by the same partner for us. So we like to look at them as overall. And what we've seen is overall across the 2 sites, uptime has been near 100%. I think we did see some partial curtailment at both of the sites. However, overall, there wasn't any periods where the entire both of the sites were offline for a long period. We experienced some minor curtailment, but that only affected a very small percentage of the facility. Overall, like utilization at both those facilities has averaged between 94 and 95%. We do have some consolidation works happening at Iowa this week. It hasn't affected our machines yet, but we do expect those machines to be moved around over the weekend. and some period first week of Jan. This is mainly just to make operations a little bit smoother at the facility. Currently, the partner is kind of taking a bit long, like taking a bit of extra effort to get to each and every machine that we have hosted with them because they're not located in the same containers. So their plan is to just move them closer to each other into one, well, not one container, but basically containers that are close to each other, which would allow for easier management. And this is in progress over this week and the next. And we expect the 300-ish miners that are affected by this consolidation to be back online and hashing by the end of next week. However, if you are going to be affected by this outage, there's a very high likelihood that a temp miner will be assigned to you, so you won't see a hash rate decline on your account. If you do, please feel free to reach out. Back to Shannon.
So I'll take Nebraska 2 and Ohio 2, mostly because both of those have 100% uptime over this last month. Both of these facilities are operated by Compass, and so it's easy to group them together from that standpoint. They are a bit different. You'll see the Nebraska 2 site in an upcoming podcast in the near future, where we had and Jared, who was the YouTuber who came by?
We had it's eluding my mind. His name is the Hobbyist. Yeah, the Hobbyist Miner came by. Yep.
Hobbyist Miner, yeah, they came by and visited. I think he posted a bit of a teaser up the other day, but you'll see Nebraska 2 in that video as they go through and talk about different mining operation stuff. But both these sites have had great uptime. They both struggle with a couple issues, which is where you see the lower machine utilization. So Nebraska 2 had some network switches fail on sites. Obviously, we were able to get those replaced, get them back online. And then we're working on kind of maximizing our capacity there. So we have 7.5 megawatts at that facility. And this is separated across, I believe, 3 transformers. And so we're always trying to balance the power across the site, across phases, and try to bring that to its maximum. So we'll be bringing that utilization up as we continue, but we're super excited about that site. It's a building design that's been, running great since we got it up and online. Ohio 2 is another container facility. We've been dealing with some infrastructure issues there that are just pending and ongoing. So some of the infrastructure issues there includes having some damaged switchgear. So this is some of the larger amperage switchgear. So generally, if you're dealing with like 3,000 and 4,000 amp breakers, or some of the higher level switchgear, they have a longer lead time to acquire if something goes wrong with them. So this has been affecting Ohio 2 and keeping our utilization down. Obviously, we move miners around the sites and maximize the capacity everywhere else while we're dealing with those issues on the site. So you're up now, Suresh.
I'll take on Minnesota. So Minnesota, I think it's very similar to what we had last month. Overall, the on-site team is doing a really good job. The tricky bit has been just the sheer amount of curtailment that they're experiencing. And if anybody knows anything about mining, they know that each time the machines get put to sleep and pulled back online, not every one of them comes online. And it just adds to a lot of workload for the on-site team. So Minnesota curtailed for 12 times this month, which is like the second highest amount this month across all of our facilities. So this just contributed to a lot of issues, which has affected their utilization and their uptime. So their uptime sits at like 94.55 this month, and utilization is at 96.61. It's still good overall, given how many curtailments they've had, but it's just like a struggle to keep all of the machines online with how many times they're having to curtail regularly. Over to you.
So I'll take the Texas sites. So Texas 1 is a site that has been with Compass for a very long time. And we've had some announcements recently. We've been relocating a lot of miners out of that facility. So that facility, I believe it was originally 27 megawatts. I don't know what it got to that peak or not. And we have only just about 5 megawatts remaining at that facility. As you see that facility continue to come offline and be completely offline next month, you'll see Texas 6 appear on this list. So we announced last week that we, contracted another 25 megawatts in Texas with a new site partner that we're excited to work with. So you'll be seeing all those miners come back online at the new Texas 6 facility. You also see them start to pop up in a few other sites such as Nebraska, Minnesota, Iowa, Indiana. So generally, we don't try to delay people. We try to. And Texas 5 has been, right at that 5 megawatts. It's struggled from time to time with its history there, and they're currently doing, or have they started that infrastructure maintenance rush on the substation?
Not that I know of. Sorry.
I'll have to go check the dates on that. There should be an announcement coming out. There's going to be a week-long downtime at the Texas 5 facility due to substation maintenance. So that facility partner has been planning a pretty large expansion, and that's going to require some upgrades to be done at the substation. And when this is done, the substation is de-energized, upgrades are completed, and it's put back online. So that's scheduled to be down for a week. Obviously, they hope to complete it much quicker than that. Early on, when the site initially energized, it actually had a substation failure in one of the bay breakers. They were actually able to get that resolved pretty rapidly. So I'm hoping this goes faster than their proposed 7 days. So Texas 1, Texas 5, generally outside of the relocations and dealing with those infrastructure shutdowns, we're hoping to see some better uptime out of those facilities during the winter months. Obviously, this is Texas. And if the wind stops blowing in the winter months, power prices can spike and we have to curtail to decrease load on the grid. Generally, that happens more June, July, August, but it has been known to happen in January and February once or twice historically as well. So that's the Texas sites. Does that just leave Indiana?
Yeah, that's all. And on the Texas 5 maintenance, I think the one that you're referring to, I think, is the one that's 2 weeks from now. I think starting 12th of January.
Gotcha.
And still, we're still a couple of weeks away, but yeah, we do intend to send some communication to make sure. I think that's planned for Monday. I think it's planned for like Monday. We'll be going out soon. So on to Indiana. So Indiana is one of the sites that we've been recently deploying a lot of S21s at. So I think if you've been watching our website, you'll be noticing that there's a ton of new machines, S21s available at Indiana. So we've just been pulling all of the old generation machines that we have in Indiana and deploying new gen machines. We even sent over our facility technicians over at Indiana to help with the work, and things have been positive. However, we aren't where we want to be from a utilization perspective. We dipped below 95%, and it's really unfortunate. We're trying everything we can to make the improvements we need at the place. I think, and our most recent visit with our facility technicians was really positive. We have some action items that we could we should be considering over the next month or so to improve the situation. More to come on that. Back to you, I guess, Jared.
Yeah, thanks. This has been a good overview. I wanted to call out some things I put up in the nest. I wanted to call what Shannon was saying about Texas 6. We've, expanded. We got 25 megawatts up. Click the link above. You can read a little bit more on that. Yeah, I forgot the name. Should never forget the name of the hobbyist miner recently out in Nebraska. There'll be more information on that coming up. And then finally, just a shout out. We have the Shamory giveaway. So if you go ahead and you buy any miner right now and you use code Shamory when you check out, we're going to send you out a Shamory deck of cards. Basically, it's a kid's game that adults will love, and it teaches you what Bitcoin mining is. So just wanted to shout that out. Suresh and Shannon, if there's nothing else, I think we are good to go. Like I said, we're still kind of in the Christmas week and the holiday week, and I know that people want to go spend time with their families, so we can give people some of their time back. But Suresh and Shannon, thank you so much for showing up. Also, shout out Chriselle and Cam, who are also here from Compass. I wish everyone a good end of the year. I hope that you have a good new year. We will see you in the new year, and I want to just call it the date. Finally, the facility roundup actually is on the last day of the month in January. So on January 31st, we will do our January facility roundup. So we'll see everyone there. Thank you so much for showing up. Suresh and Shannon, thanks once again for anchoring this. And I'll see you guys in January.
Bye, guys.
Happy holidays, everyone. See ya.